So basically today I'm going to be covering relationships from A-level AQA psychology. I've like 4 days, 3 days, about 3 days, 4 days. Got 2 exams. I got physics and psychology on the same day. So, okay, I mean surely it's possible. Surely it's possible to revise all of psychology. Paper 3. It can't be that bad. Let's just say I wasn't very focused during the lesson. So, anyway, to summarize, the first subtopic of relationships is sexual selection and reproductive behaviour. From sexual selection, you can basically guess, like, it's similar to natural selection, except it's for choosing your like romantic sexual partner. So basically it's the evolutionary explanation of partner preference. It's where you seek out behaviours linked to reproductive success, and then therefore these get passed down onto your generation. So it's also got linked with like similar natural, as I said, natural selection, evolution. Like as we evolve, we get these traits which like keep the human race like ongoing. Okay, and this is linked to the next definition is anosogamy. So it's the difference between male and female sex cells, which kind of explains sexual selection and like the reason for like having a relationship. So it's the difference between male and female sex cells. Sperm cells, they're almost unlimited. So basically the man can just, like, even in old age, most men are still able to produce some sperm, whereas for females it takes a lot of energy, and it's not quickly replenished. It's not produced in large numbers. It's limited, and it's also limited through age. Basically, by limited, I mean there's only a few eggs. It's not, and through age you get less and less fertile. So basically this explains the reasons for. It's basically supporting this idea that males, well, you're going to see it right now, intrasexual selection. Basically it's the preferred male strategy, apparently. So when you compete with other males for the female, then explains the difference between male and female body size. The reason why it does this is because the genetic characteristics of big, strong, etc. are more in favour for men when they're fighting off other males for the females. So basically it's more likely that the stronger man is going to reproduce with a female, so the female doesn't need to fight any other females for a man. So they don't need big bodies like muscles and all of that. That's intrasexual selection. It's kind of the opposite of inter. It should just be called outer sexual, but whatever. It's the opposite of like inter, because the men are fighting with each other, whereas for female they have to look into like what they want, and it's referred to as the female choice. So basically they have a greater investment of time, energy and resources required from female. There's a greater investment of time, energy and resources required from the female to raise a child. Hence they're gonna be extra picky, and they need a partner who will support and provide resources for them and their children. Which quite clearly links to like these two definitions. For the evaluation, so for the first point, let's just do text. Like my handwriting is terrible, so the first point, let's do this in green to symbolize this is a good point, this is positive. There's a research support for preferences related to anosogamy. Somebody called Bus. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's easy to remember. He conducted a survey of over 10,000 adults in 33 different countries. So compared to other studies, it's a lot more. It can be applied to different cultures because there's so many different countries, whereas something like a Milgram study was only done in America. It was found that female respondents, they had greater emphasis on resource-related characteristics. So they have a stronger emphasis on somebody provides them with resources, basically like money, food, shelter. Whereas the males valued reproductive capacity. Capacity, like good looks. We'll probably go more into detail on that. There's another in the year. So positive for intersexual selection. Clark and Hatfield. Also 1989, that's good. So it's like the same date. Illustrated reality of female choosiness. Okay, that's a bit, I don't know. It was found that male and female students were asked to approach the opposite sex and asked if they could go to bed together tonight. Oh yeah, I remember we got showed a video of this. And it was found that zero females agreed. However, 75% of males agreed to go to bed with a random stranger. This heavily supports the evolutionary theory. Because it shows that females are more choosy, whereas men, because they have lots of reproductive capacity, they that's why they're so choosy. They have different strategies to ensure reproductive success. Okay, so obviously this not very good. Like, well, firstly, it justifies sexist and stereotypical sexist and stereotypical roles of males, and it exaggerates the differences between them. It says that it's only because of the biology. This is an example of alpha bias. Alpha bias is when they exaggerate the differences between the genders, and beta bias is when they assume that they minimize the differences. They assume that they're the same. I'm gonna add this to here because so it ignores well, it doesn't really make sense if it ignores those ones. It ignores any relationship not based on biological preferences. Like, some people they're not like, they're not like constantly thinking about, they don't base their relationship based on looks. They care more about Well, I mean, you could say that. Well, I guess this doesn't really talk about the personality. It just talks about how they look and the way they act, like on a base level. It doesn't really go into detail. It's quite reductionistic. And it's deterministic. It's deterministic because it claims choice. It claims the strategies which. Oh, okay. So it's deterministic, as it says that your choice in selecting someone is only based on your gender. And females. It says that females are only attracted to those who will care for their offspring. It's not really even about them. They are only... So it's kind of ignoring the whole role of a female in the first place. It's ignoring the whole personality. It's only saying that men are only attracted to females based on producing offspring, and it's saying that females are only attracted to men who care for their offspring. It's all about their offspring. It's not really thinking about anything else. This isn't always the case. Not all people have children. Okay, so another negative. Ignores social and cultural influences. It's basically ignoring the idea of nurture. It's ignoring nurture. It's basically saying everything's biological. You're just programmed to behave like this. It's ignoring these influences, outside influences. Because there have been, in Western society, over gender equality. Women's, they're not just for, these days they also have jobs, so they're not always going to be the ones that are caring for the children. The man might be caring for the child as well. So they may no longer require a man to provide with resources, to provide them. This is kind of supported by Kasser and Shawarma. Not shawarma, Sharma. But, who cares about the date? I can't memorize every single date. Kasser and Shawarma, they analyzed 37 countries, cultures. So they analyzed 37 cultures and found females valued based on resources only where they lacked education and work, their poverty. So this kind of makes sense if you think about it. It's saying that in a more poorer place than the females valued men who provided more resources because they're unable to provide it for themselves. But in a more richer society, in a more Western society, maybe, well, not all, that's not true for every single, but it's basically saying that in a society where there's more education, more work, females are less likely to, they can provide for themselves, basically. And this goes against this whole approach. Okay, so so basically it's saying that's limited. Evolutionary explanation is limited. is it focuses on nature. It ignores the effects of relationships on our from the environment, such as cultural influences like social media. That has a big impact, which that's another subtopic. But influence of environment, and therefore it is evolutionary reductionist slash deterministic. I think it's basically the same thing. Okay, and that's the whole subtopic for sexual selection and reproductive behaviour. This is like the biological approach for relationships, kind of. So yeah.